welcome to the Predator EUROTOUR in Antalya, Turkey. We have a final 16 match between Wojciech Szewczyk and Petri Makkonen, two of the best players in the field. It's a race to 9 8-ball. This is Eric Horlifson, joined in the booth by Tim DeRuyter. Looking forward to a good one here, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. What a matchup. And one thing that's going to be very spectacular is the fact that both players do have a big break, which is a huge weapon, playing 8-ball, of course.
Yeah, Wojciech had a 9-1 win in his previous round, I believe. And Petri, a big breaker as well, so expect a lot of offense in this one.
Yeah, so a race to 9, 8-ball, alternate break per 2 racks. And Wojciech Szewczyk to break the balls first. Definitely a great opening break. None of the usual suspects dropping, but it's made the one. Gets the shape on technically either solids or stripes. Yeah, I feel like he could go either way. Just don't like the 9-ball for the stripes unless you go there right now. Gotta say, I like the solids a bit more, but this is just preference, I think. Now let's see, is he gonna play the 14 in the top left? In that case, I think the cue ball is always going to be in such an open position. No way you're gonna hook yourself onto the 14. Yeah, definitely will be a good battle. I actually think this might be one to go all the way. A great hill battle, I assume. Gotta say though, still needs to do some work when he lands on the 9. He might be shooting the 13 over to get to the 9. Kinda like the 12 and get to the 9-ball first. Quite the reach. Has called this extension for the time, and using the extension on the cue. Needs to run 2 rails back to the center of the table. And the opening breaker run for Wojciech Szewczyk. And this is definitely setting the tone. I'm assuming we'll see a lot of breaker runs. Well, first try break for the match. Now, I did see some early trouble around the 8 ball, I think, Eric.
Yeah, just get a second look here. There's a bunch of stripes up near the top right. And yeah, the 8 ball's tied up. Not many stripes near that 8 ball that needs to be moved. Does he have an opener on any of the solids? Maybe the 3?
Yeah, the 3, maybe the 5 ball. And then use the 4 ball later on to open up the 2. Or maybe even play the 2 in the center later on. Yeah, I was just mentioning the fact that we have 8 Polish players in the last 16. 2 Dutch players, 2 Germans, 1 Finn, 1 Frenchman, and 1 Spaniard. I think it's quite a good mix, but still 50% of it, of this last 16 is Polish. That's crazy.
Yeah, good things happening for Polish billiards, coming second in the World Team Championships in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. Really a nice cap off to all the players they've developed over the past 10 years. He's a little straight on the 4 here, Tim. Might have to only clip the 8. If he catches the 2, he could be in trouble here. It's available to the right middle.
Yeah, it does really take care of the cue ball well. This Petri Makkonen. He's won some big titles in his career. Just never really has done too well, I think, in any world championships, as far as I remember.
Yeah, he just had that one runner-up finish with Mika Immonen in the World Cup of Pool and one semi-final in a WNT event. He's one of those players that kind of plays half the majors. Usually has good results, but I think when you're not out there full-time, it's just kind of tough to get in the groove sometimes.
Yeah, gotta say, both players did have a very convincing win in the last 32. Wojciech Szewczyk beating Juan Carlos Exposito 9-1. And then Petri Makkonen beating EUROTOUR Turkish 9-2. So, 2 quick matches. Definitely shows good form. Very promising for this match. Now tying the score at 1.
Yeah, no way to have those kind of score lines unless you're breaking and running a lot of racks. Both the first 2 have been decided off the break here. Both players going right off the head string with a closed bridge, likely for Makkonen as well. Most recommended break. Breaking with a template or tap balls and 8-ball.
Yeah, there's the break I was expecting from him. Have to say, it wasn't the squarest of hits. And actually lucky the cluster around the 8-ball. Just look at the 8. There was a nice cluster coming together there. And then the 1-ball kind of opened up the bunch. That's going to be very useful.
1-6 combo plays okay, but if he goes with solids, the 8-ball is going to have a shortage of pockets. Key to this rack is going to be getting good on the 11. He can get there off the 12. Ideally would like to be able to go to the rail here and into the angle of the 12, but looks like he's going to back off the... Just had too much angle going to the left. Try to get a little straighter here, and he has.
Yeah, can float over for the 11-ball now, right?
Yeah, for sure. To the rail and into it, which is what he was looking for the first time. Likely 10 last year. Might even mess around with running into the 8, opening it up a little more. Didn't want to get over top of the 1 though. A little unlucky there. That was the risk of running into the 8. I still liked it. Anytime you run into another ball, tough to predict exactly what's going to happen with the cue ball or the ball you're running into.
Would you consider maybe even going rail first? Just to slide above the 8 and take more cut on the 10?
Yeah, you can definitely keep the speed down that way.
Well, he's at least given himself the opportunity to still get there. That was kind of a banana skin, I would say, that previous shot he just played. Could have definitely turned out way worse.
Shot there. Perfect with the cue ball. First break attempt for Makkonen goes down as a break-in run.
Yeah, in the meantime, all the last 16 matches are going on in both the men and the women.
Pia Filler and Yasmin Ocean will be big favorites in the women's division. A couple of the favorites in the men's division going at it here. Huge spread. Everything leaving the rack. 1 ball down. Another offensive chance for Makkonen.
Yeah, well, he did not have the best start, obviously. Wojciech winning only one rack out of the two breaks he had. And that could be one of the differences in the match if that happens a couple times. You gotta, it's like putting on a package, you know, you gotta just get like 2 or 3 of those where you just play perfect for 2 breaks. If your opponent does that and you are not doing that, that could be the only difference in this match. Looks very comfortable around the table, Makkonen. Speeding up a bit.
I would assume both these players will be at the World 8-Ball Championships in St. Louis the first week of April. So a nice warm-up tournament for that one for them. Five, 6-1 here, Tim. 7-5-6-1. Where does the 1 go exactly, though?
Well, could
Bottom
play for
left?
the one. Yeah, the one in the bottom left. If you can get kind of straight on it, you can always use the 6 after to get to the 5 if you do not land straight onto the 1. Uh-oh. Oh, well, he might still have the 6 and nudge the 1. Give the 1 ball a nudge and be on the 5 ball, right? I think it's
Yeah,
the best option.
I think he's going to have to. I don't think that's what he was playing here, though. For sure not the cue ball exactly where it is now. And I didn't mind hitting that one a little lighter because the 5 was available on the top right. Still play the 5 in the side. Just going to have to avoid the 8 and the 12 coming across, which is actually a little tough.
Well, he's playing this 5 into the center with some pace. Well, actually, not that much pace. I was expecting more stun on that.
Got through the 8-12 nicely, but going to be tough to get perfect on the 8 back in the right middle. Only path really is between the 12-10, and the cue ball is going to be far away from the 8 at that point, so might drop back and play the 8 in the same pocket, Tim.
Yeah, or crossover for the 8 in the top left. Oh, he's going back and forth.
That was
Wow,
a nice
what a
shot.
cue ball.
Had to come real tight with the cue ball there. So 2 break-in runs from Makkonen on his break, and good signs early in this match. Expect Szewczyk to be able to come back strong.
Yeah, could not wish for a better start. The fin, the flying fin. Definitely, we will have to see a reply from Wojciech. Imagine going down 4 games, 6 games. I think in this break per 2 format, I just think they're so difficult to overcome these kind of deficits.
Szewczyk, one of the strongest head string breakers in the game, even when we have the hand rack in the Pro Billiard Series in 10 ball, still breaks them from the head string a lot of the time. Really confident with this break. Nothing down again though, Tim.
Yeah, there's only one thing though, which may sound a bit strange about Wojciech's break. And that's the fact that he's really good at hitting it maximum speed. So he's like absolutely crushing the balls. But sometimes the balls, they don't need that to make the two balls into the center. And I think that's really catching him right now.
That's a good call. And it kind of lends better to the Pro Billiards series where there's no template, but here control has a little more value.
I mean, you do see it often, players that have one specific break, they can either break and control, like a pop break, or they can break them like Petri and Wojciech are doing. But most of the players not capable to actually do both.
Yeah, like even Shane Van Boning kind of relies on a lot of power a lot of the time. Not easy here. Still got to find a way down to the 13. 11's close to the side, but I don't believe he'll be playing it there unless he gets perfect on it like this. That's a good shot, and he can go down to the 13 now. Gonna leave the 13 till last. Slightly out of line here, Tim.
Yeah, can he... Oh, he might still be able to play the 15 and go in between the 3 and the 9 and come back out. But still easy to fall on the wrong side of the ball to get back down table for the 13.
Looks like he might try to run into the 3, but it can also draw in between the 1-3. It's on the 13 still. Heavy angle though. Gonna have to run into something coming back to get good on the 15. A lot of traffic to come through back to the 13 here. No good.
Uh-oh. First mistake. Well, might still be able to slice this in or rail first. A lot of right spin. This has a chance, and I think he's going to run into the 5 with the cue ball. And might still land on the 8, so low percentage, but you got to go.
Yeah, decent distance from the rail where it's going to come close. Over deflected. Anytime you see a world-class player with a 7-1 advantage like this in balls, can pretty much rack them up. Just watch the pattern he picks out, moving the cue ball so little. Szewczyk and Maciol played it just excellent in the World Team Championships. Wesolowska, the female member, obviously a part of that too, but Wesolowska coming in as Maybe not the strongest female player in the field. Maciol and Szewczyk were able to really pick her up and coached her well in the doubles and team situations.
Well, one thing I just really like about Polish billiards, or pool in this case, is the fact that I really get that team spirit kind of feeling when I see them at every event. You know, it feels like they're a group of people that they would want to see their friends do well. So it's not just an individual performance. So anytime there's a team event on the European Championships or World Team Championship, I kind of feel like Poland is always a good contender because they would stick their hand into the fire for each other.
Totally agree. And it's always good to have backing when you're traveling like that. Some players that come from countries that don't have multiple world-class players, they're just kind of there by themselves. It's a totally different feeling.
Yeah, and I think it's actually way more fun too. I mean, to always be out there, you know, it feels like you're traveling with friends and yet doing what you really like instead of, you know, we also both know that sometimes it's quite a struggle traveling everywhere and being alone. And also during the tough times, you have someone to talk with and about stuff. So they have created a good environment.
Yeah, it's really the blueprint for what a national association should look like. So Szewczyk getting away with not making a ball in rack number 5. Chance to draw even here in rack number 6 now.
Now the second of his breaks. Let's see if he can make those two balls disappear into the side. Oh, 14 hanging up on him. Needs the one ball to go. And it doesn't. And another dry one.
Yeah, 3 of the wired balls there caught points. Watch the 14 catching 2 points. The one in the 12 around 4 rails almost went. Tough one. And a wide open look for Makkonen.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually hit him better. I mean, if you look at the cue ball as well, nice control. Good spread, good movement on the balls. Always rough to see nothing going in while you feel like you're hitting it so good.
Wanted to free up the 13 on that play. Ended up getting into the 2. It's okay on the 13 into the bottom right. Nothing in his way here. Eight ball only available into the bottom right, but should be pretty manageable. Probably play the 11 last here, but he's going to go at it now. Has to avoid the 2-6 coming back. Nicely played.
Yeah, another textbook run out. Maintaining the lead well. Does have two of his breaks coming up. So Wojciech very possibly could be looking at a 6-2 deficit next time he comes back at the table. Of course, a lot depends on the break and if we're gonna see a lot of balls cluster up, yes or no. If the racks stay open like they have been, the Finn could start to run away with this match.
Yeah, he's 2 for 2 so far. Break and run department. And Wojciech only on 1 of 4 balls made on the break. He's hitting them a little off square, Tim, but getting balls down.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, as I mentioned, the pace for Wojciech not really helping to make the balls into the center. But if Wojciech would do the same thing, but cut the break just slightly, just like Petri just did, that actually does help them to make those balls into the center. But I mean, it's just not something you would try to aim for on the break. I mean, that's the awkward part, I would say.
Yeah, you're right. The funny thing is that the ball going in the right middle pocket will go in more often in that case, but you have no shot at the one in the left middle. And you're kind of playing the cue ball towards the side. So I don't think a lot of players actually go for that one, but it is successful when it does happen, kind of exactly like it did there.
Yeah, I kind of like playing the one run into the 13, opening up the 5. And you do have the 6 or the 3 ball to open up the 7, 12. Did not get to go around the 2, but actually the 2 ball moved over perfectly to get to the short side of the 5.
Got to get a pretty specific angle to be able to go into the 7-12 off the 3. He's going to be down to 3 balls left at that point. So we're drawing this.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm actually surprised he didn't just play that soft. Could have maybe played the 3 ball off the 12 into the corner. But to play that from this position, way too scary. So might have to try to get on the 7 last. Or is he playing... What has he played for? I'm a bit lost here, Eric.
Yeah, must have thought there's room for the bank, but it doesn't look like it. He's still on it. Bit of an illusion here. Really looks like the 12's blocking it, but he would know.
Yeah, and also don't forget, he has to get shape on the 2 ball at the same time as well. So if he stops the cue ball, he's not going to get on it. So has to actually play a real good bank here. Oh, he's found it. Wow, he tricked us.
Yeah, you could see by how little he missed the 12 there and still went into the top part of the pocket. Good shot, good judgment. Underrated tough shot there, finessing it nicely. Well, he's on stroke, Tim. That's 3 for 3 in the break and run department now. One more break to come in his set of 2 breaks.
Yeah, the best thing Wojciech is looking at is a 5-3 deficit with him breaking twice. And I gotta say, this wasn't one of the easier layouts. Quite a lot of bumps here and there. But as you said, he's kind of on the hot streak. He's playing very well so far. Yeah, there goes that 4-ball again. He's getting good cue ball just past the side, but not a square hit. It's actually just helping him out. Yeah. 2 balls in.
Yeah, actually went to the opposite side this time and the 4-ball still went. Pretty open table again. Gonna ideally try to find an angle on the 2. I like solids here and find an angle on the 2 where the cue ball's not running into the 13. Even if it is, should still be on the 6. Gotta find a way to get back to the 5. Three rails around here. See if he comes all the way to the 5 or just leaves the 2 till last. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with leaving the 2 till last as well. Gonna be hard to get straight on the 5 now, though. And this is where running into the 13 off the 2 can become a problem.
And there is one of the not so many mistakes. I think he was so trying to hold the cue ball there.
I like trying to get at the 2 earlier and getting on the 5 earlier. Because if he left it till the end like he did, things were going to get dicey. A chance for Wojciech here. Not too much angle to hold on to the 15. He can draw into it or try to run into the 2. Got a little stuck there. Still has offensive options. Getting through the tough part of the rack nicely. (10-14) finish maybe.
bit more traveling back and forth, but he likes to end with the 2 balls in the bottom just because it would get him on the proper side of the 8 to play the 8 in the center. Ideally could put himself straight. Needs to play a little bit of draw.
Kind of interesting that Szewczyk has a number on the back of his jersey. You don't see that very often. And after 8 games, Makkonen with a 2-game lead. Going back into Szewczyk's breaks here. He's going to look to improve what he's done on the break so far.
So 5-3. Stolen that rack away from the fin, and now 2 breaks, and I feel like if the break is not gonna work out on these 2 coming up, then I think it's gonna be too big of a mountain to climb this match. So he needs to get going from this point to still make a chance at the quarterfinals.
Again, hit them real well. Found a ball in the top pockets here. Still hasn't found the balls in the second row, but he'll definitely take the one in the top left this time.
Well, tough run out. Don't think the 3 ball does go by the 8. That's why he's going for the stripes. We'll have to land on the 13 right away. Gotta say, from this angle, I'm actually doubting if the 13 goes, but, well, he's played for it, so it should. Yeah, didn't really play the strongest European Championships he could have played. Maybe I was expecting a bit too much from him, who knows. But in this EuroTour, still flying high.
Nine, 12, 11 progression now. Preference of whether to play the 14 or the 15 after the 11. Could actually leave the 11 because it kind of plays well into the 8. Interesting to see the exact choices on these ones, Tim. It looks easy, but it kind of makes you think after how the cue ball was playing. which one was best.
In some way, I was hoping for him to maybe get onto the, I believe it's the 15, the bottom stripe. Kind of like to play the 14 onto the 8. But we'll have to either get to the 15 and take more cut onto the 8 by playing the 11 last. Oh, and he's now playing the 11 first. I just don't think he's gonna land quite straight off the 15, so probably will have to leave himself a bit more cut onto the 8.
Just run the cue ball at the 4 here, one rail. Did well to get this straight on it. And Szewczyk has the break and run game back. One more to come from him. Doesn't look like he's going to switch off this high-powered attack. I mean, the flip side of the high-powered one is if the balls don't go in, the sides don't go in, there's a higher percentage of fluking another one. But as you alluded to, he really needed these 2 games. He's got the first one. Switch sides last minute. See if that has any effect. There he goes with the second row down. Wide open spread. (14) and the 4 are the only balls close to each other, but the 4 ball obviously available on the side. Toughest solid's going to be the 7. And the angle going to the left off the 1 or the 3 will work for the 7.
Well, gotta say, pretty high-paced match. Players playing offensively, but successfully. Could have 10 racks in an hour. It's not bad.
I was surprised he didn't go at the 7 there. Still going to have a couple balls to get back to it. Not sure why he wouldn't have, really.
Well, apparently the 7 does go into the top left, so he didn't need the angle. I'm a bit surprised too. For us, it kind of looks like the 7 does not go by the 11.
Yeah, it's the only reason he wouldn't have gone over to it on the previous shot. One day, Tim, we'll have 8 cameras around all the tables, and we'll just be able to click a button and be able to look at the balls at the angles we need to.
No, you would not want me to have control over that. Things would start to get very messy. Well, perfect run out once again. We'll be tied at 5. Petri does have the break next, right?
Yeah, 2 to come from Makkonen now. Szewczyk doing all he can do to stay in this one.
Yeah, means we are now just over the mid-match point. I mean, there's not really a middle in a race to 9. But now, actually, he has overcome that deficit. And I gotta say, it only took Petri 1 mistake, right? Missing the 6 ball, I believe.
Yeah, it's been the only missed ball in the whole match. Makkonen also getting out of position once. But 4 of his wins have come by way of break and run. And he's back in the breaking position here.
Oh, and that's
right off the table. Never expected that.
Look at his spread too. This is, well, I mean, you still got to run out, but quite the gift. No clusters. Can choose either solids or stripes, I feel like. The only thing is for solids, maybe the opening shot not as normal. Not as nice to start with.
Yeah, he'd only have the 3 really on the opener for the solids. Has to shoot a ball in front of the line.
Yeah, I can play the 10, nudge the 14 over to the right. And then use the 14 to either run into the 15-7 or to get onto the 11 to take the 11 away. Yeah, just like that. Play the rel. Like he could maybe play into the 7 at this point and actually have either the 15 to the left or the 11 to the right.
Yeah, I like that play.
Yeah, perfect. And now, I mean, I'm not too worried about those 3 stripes on the top side of the table. Maybe the 12 a little bit, but you can always play the 12 in the left center. The 13 does help you to get there. Bit surprised he's not shooting the 15 first though. Maybe because of that little bit of an angle.
Yeah, probably just couldn't hold straight enough for the 11. Draw back for the 13 now. Does have a bit of angle going to the left, but he can still punch to the short rail if he wants. Shot nice and close to it. Straight on the 12 will play good here. Szewczyk winning the last 3 games now if he's able to get through these last 2 balls. And we'll be looking at a level score at best going into his next 2 breaks. High standard here. 8-ball always looks pretty easy when it's played at a high level. But 9 of the 11 games have been decided off the break.
Yeah, if you can play a race to 9 and actually miss only, well, I mean, if you would have to make an estimate guess, probably for me, I would say I'm gonna miss 3 balls, 4 balls, depending on how the break works eventually. Maybe 4, 5. But they are actually, so far, they've only missed 1 ball in 10 racks. So that means they're possibly playing either 1 or 2 mistakes in a whole set. That is just so strong. You would say almost unbeatable. But they're both doing it.
Right. Good hit there. Nothing down yet. Makkonen walked away from the table like he just assumed one was going to go down. He hit it so well, but didn't get one.
Yeah, just watch that purple 4. So close. Yeah, that's the funny thing. I actually think he broke these better than the last couple. If you just look at his cue ball control and how straight he hit it head on. But then the balls were going higher. So he kind of, with the power he's putting on, he needs to either cut it a little bit or take some power off, I guess.
Yeah, same thing happened to Wojciech in a couple racks.
Yeah, look at this. The 4 ball does bring you to the bottom where you can get on the 1 and the 5. The only ball I'm not a big fan of is this 6. Is he gonna maybe draw slightly into the 13, having the 4 as a backup?
Just has to make sure he doesn't run squarely into the 13. The 6 is available in the top right, but I don't mind trying to give it a little more room. Six, 4, 3 can work here. I'd have to risk getting straight on the 4 again. Not to be perfectly straight on the 4 though. 6, 3, 4, pardon me. Well, I called it right the first time. Little more cue ball movement. He does have a good lane up the right side for the 1-5 off the 3. Strong comeback from Szewczyk. This will be 4 games in succession where Makkonen hasn't had anything offensive. Makkonen did have the 1 scratch on the break, but after being stuck, came with 2 break-in runs, and 2 wins off Petri's breaks. This rack not quite over. Perfectly on the 5.
Yeah, I don't think we were expecting this. I mean, if you look at the scoreline, definitely Makkonen looked to be completely running away with the match, being 5-2 up. Actually 5-2, and now 7-5 up. So this is 5 on the spin.
Yeah, strong play from Szewczyk overall. Overcoming some misfortunes on the break in the first 7 games. Petri feeling it now. Knows it's going to take a mistake or two from Szewczyk for him to come back at this point. Was it the 5-2 game where Petri had his one missed ball? Is that how it went? And then he got back to 3 on that game?
Yeah. At 5-2, he missed one ball, and he's down 7-5.
Yeah, and you're just like going back to that as the turning point. I'd forgot at that point. I thought it was 5-3 on something offensive from Wojciech, but yeah, that was the game that kind of turned the match a little bit.
Well, and of course, I mean, the break, with being such a big factor, the dry breaks have cost Wojciech in the beginning and starting to cost Petri at this point. And now he does find that ball into the side, wasn't hitting it as square as he did before. Oh, look at this layout. I think the 8 ball maybe a little bit locked up with a stripe, but overall, he could put himself on the hill now.
The 15 could play into the 8-12. Doesn't really want stripes because of where the 10 is. He's really going to have to move the 8 if he takes solids. Same would be the case for stripes. Almost looks like he's going into it now off the 6th, Tim.
Oh. Oh, was hoping to hit it full in the face, maybe landing on the 1-3 combination in the bottom left. And, well, also imagine if he had hit the 8 on the right or on the left side a bit more. He would have had the 2. I'm not sure about the 2 ball right now. The 7 ball is definitely not on.
Yeah, he's going to be okay rail first if the 1 isn't in the way. Looks like he might be okay here. We're going to have to play the combo late in the rack now.
Wow, look at the pace too. Play that with a lot of drag to take a lot of speed off the ball.
Yeah, smart
Super
shot
low.
there. There was 3 stripes playing over towards the 7. Controlled the cue ball perfectly, avoiding them all. Rail first on that one to create a nice angle. And he's been flawless for 6 racks now if he's able to get through this combo.
Yeah, nicely done. Had to play that with a bit of spin too. So could have missed the combination because of the spin, but perfect on the 8. So it's gonna be Wojciech Szewczyk on the hill, needing one more. And he still does have one more break to come. And not much that Petri can do against it right now. Just gotta watch and pray for another opportunity.
Yeah, even if he does win this next game, it'll be Szewczyk to break in rack number 19. 17, pardon me. Yannick Bolfis and Radoslav Babika are tied at 3 each. Corral and Van, 6-all. Rempe and Men. Rempe's ahead 7-6. Tobias Bongers and Kananiga, 6-all. A lot of close matches. Rajali and Fortunsky. Rajali ahead 8-7. Daniel Maciel up 8-2 against Roman Heibler. Neshko Fortunsky and Dominic Yastrab, 5-all. 8-5 in this one.
Well, if you think about it, Dominic Rigieli and Victor Fortunsky, they've played 16 racks in, what is it, like an hour and 30 minutes. I was checking the starting time. So that's 16 racks in 90 minutes time. Where there is another match between Yannick Beaufil and Radoslav Babica, 3 each, in that same time window.
Yeah, that one trailing way behind for some reason. Perfect break.
Wow.
Ball down on the side.
Oh.
He's a little trapped by the 9 here, but he's on the 15 if he needs it.
Yeah, just wondering if he actually has a shot on the solids. Maybe that, no, I was gonna say maybe the 4, but I don't think it. Well, from this angle, I can tell you the 4 doesn't go. So he's forced into taking that stripe. But we'll have to accept the fact that the 9 ball is a little bit clustered up with the 6, but he has the 12 next to the side pocket. This could still be a break and run.
Yeah, could he miss the 1 and the 2 going forward here? Just maybe?
Well, he might be playing to run into the 1, having 2 shots into the side. Ooh, that did wobble a bit. But he's landed just fine. The only thing he doesn't like is the fact that the 10 doesn't go to the bottom right. And, well, you're not going to have any other ball to drop below the 10 as well. Can he still play the 10 in the bottom left before he goes up table?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest problem is that after the breakout, he's only going to have 3 balls max left to get on. I wonder if he can play in a way where he only hits the 6 and not the 9.
Well, I kind of like playing the 13 now. Go 2 rails into the 6 ball. So you're kind of guaranteed either having the 9 or the 12 over the side. In that case, you leave the 11 still next to the 10 for him to get on the 10 ball later on.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. Cues trying to go right into the 6 here. It's risky though, because if you miss the 6, you're crashed totally on the out. Now this one at the 9. Oh, tried to open it up, but it doesn't open up that well.
Oh, he's got to play the 9 into the center and follow the cue ball to play the 10 in the opposite center. And high pace into these Predator Arc side pockets. Well, we've seen quite some shocking misses that way. Well, it's not bad actually.
Yeah, you can keep the speed down here a bit. It looks like the cue ball is playing to the right of the 10.
Wow, and he's landed absolutely perfect, Eric. What a set he just played.
From 5-2 down, won the last 7 games, and Makkonen is just shocked. And Petri just missing that one ball in rack number 8. So one mistake on the break from there. World-class stuff from Szewczyk here, showing why he's ranked number 12 currently in the WPA.
Yeah, so this 8 to get through to the quarterfinals, which we will have tomorrow. Tomorrow the final day of the Predator Turkey Open. And down goes the 8, Eric.
Yeah, just awesome stuff from Szewczyk, and he'll be a strong force to win the title after this performance. Won his last 32 match, 9-1. Bit of adversity to overcome at the beginning of this match, but did so in fine form. Still have matches going on table 2 and table 3 for you to check out today. And we'll be back tomorrow with quarterfinals onwards. Finals day at the EUROTOUR in Turkey. For Tim DeRuyter, this is Eric Horlifson. I'll talk to you soon.